Hey everyone, wanted to make this video because I've been seeing this kind of news going around on my Twitter feed and just wanted to give my thoughts about it. For those of you not sure if you know or not in the know, but someone by the name of Shibuya Kaho was recently promoted or made into the newest Twitch ambassador, which is a program they have over on Twitch. And it's led to a bunch of mixed reviews simply because of the person's past, which is basically being a Japanese adult movie star, like the kind of, what's it called, special videos from the internet, nudge nudge, wink wink. And I just wanted to kind of share my thoughts about this, which realistically it's kind of a neutral term situation where it's more like, in a funny way, congratulations, but I really don't care situations. Because I mean, like I said, congrats on the position, but I think the funny thing is there have been other people named, Twitch ambassadors, and no one seems to bat an eye. And the only reason this kind of blew up more than it should have was just because of her past, which people are clinging on, which, in my opinion, the people that are clinging to stuff like this in the first place, when I look through most of them, some of them are pretty hypocrites. From one of them basically saying, "Oh, basically trying to hint at, oh, look at her past, the stuff that she used to do back in the day, and why is Twitch allowing this?" And then you realize that chick's posting thirst traps, or what's it called, Tectones. I don't have to say much about him. He's probably the last person to be talking at all, because I'd say he's like the king of gooners at this point. And I don't know if I'm going to be banned by him or whatever, but meh, it doesn't really matter at this point. Or at least with Tectone. But with Kaho, honestly, I don't even know if I'm even pronouncing that right. But anyways, as for her, like I said, it's just people are really reaching out because of her past, and more so because of what she's wearing, which most of the time she's just showing cleavage, which, if you're someone that actually has female friends that dress in a like similar to that, most of the time it's kind of reaching and more telling about how many, like, your interaction with the opposite gender from a guy's perspective. Because most of the time it's not even like them dressing up like that to basically be a gooner, or like basically not to attract them, basically, like, the simps and all that. It's not even in that spotlight of like, oh, let me dress like this to get every guy's attention. Most of the time it's just purely as simple as just either trying to be fashionable or just wearing whatever's comfortable at the time. That's pretty much it. It'd be like if, and it's probably the thing that I don't know how to put it, but maybe it's like if a guy were to, wear a shirt and everything, but then their crotch is just poking out. I know that's more like inappropriate, but I mean, more or less, as someone that's met people, and like I said, I think there's a fine line of when too much skin is showing. And if you've ever been to raids before and seen those outfits, if she was wearing something like that, that's crossing the line. I've seen some of the more skimpier stuff that people wear and call it public clothing, but what she's wearing just looks like she's just wearing what's comfortable, or just being fashionable. That's pretty much it. And again, I'm not even that like that what she's doing, or what I mean. Like I said, I looked more into her, not post stuff 2014, 2018. Basically, I just went for like how she's been, her streams and everything, and she just comes off as a chill person. That's pretty much it. And the reason it doesn't bother me that Twitch named them ambassadors, because it's probably just a simple opportunity for them. But then you also have to remember that more than likely it was just the Twitch CEO Clancy or whatever that kind of did this, that old fart. If you have anyone to be upset about, don't be upset at her for getting the position. Most of the time it's just be upset at the higher ups that are pretty much allowing this. But again, it's kind of like a weird way to say it. It's not like be upset at her in the first place. Like, If anything, if something that Twitch happens upsets you, do not be upset at the person that it's about. Be upset at the person above them, because they're usually the ones doing this. Make it known, but again, it's really not that big of a deal. And the reason for that, and I'm very, very sorry for any of you that have suppressed this. For the people watching, I'll give you a few moments to kind of, okay, good. And as for anyone that's only hearing this video, dear, that's all I'm gonna say. If you see that video, if you hear that word and you don't get chills down your spine, then yeah, because there have been some goof ups with people with Twitch making the wrong people ambassadors, and it wasn't for like their identity, it was just their attitude of being given the Twitch ambassador title. But speaking of which, like I said, at the end of the day, it just more falls along the lines of, if something on the internet bothers you, just simply ignore it. There's really no reason to try to call it out or do any of that. If it's an opportunity for them, wish them luck, move on with your life, and that's pretty much all you need to do. Anything more, and more than likely, if you're someone with a community, you're just going to end up hurting your image in the long run. This is like one of those things where it's not really worth engaging with. And again, as someone from a neutral position, it's really just not really something to even really care about. They just happen to give ambassador to someone that just had a questionable past, and I guess some people just were. And that's the funny thing is the fact that this person was streaming for who knows how long, making their, past afterwards content, and no one really made a big deal about it until they were given a higher position, and that's when it became an issue. So, like I said, it's not something you can easily make a point about and be like, oh, Twitch is messing up here, and here. And it's like, that's nice and all. But like I said, a lot of people are just trying to make an excuse as to be upset when there really is no excuse whatsoever. But I think I've said enough. If it bothers you, then cool, make it spoken. But in a situation like this, I mean, would you be saying the same thing if this same person got the position over at Kick, YouTube? Like, there comes a point where if what they're doing isn't really harming anyone, and that's pretty much where my mindset is. If what she's doing content-wise isn't affecting children or whatever, and if it is, then it falls more on the parent than it does her, is either way. But at this point, it just seems like she's just basically just being a content creator. Like, yes, she did make some questionable content a few years back, but if what she's doing now isn't really harming anyone in a negative matter, then just do the simplest thing of just, either shutting it down, not like shutting her down. I mean, like, just, move on with your life and just do what you need and then just do that. But it's not really something worth making such a big deal about, because, she got her own opportunity, and everyone, gets positions like this in different ways. Sure, it bothers you, but nothing's stopping you from like building your own community, your own reputation, and then maybe one day you might get the same opportunity as you, and then maybe you can see, like, because like I said, it's more or less just blind luck and a lot of hard work of getting opportunities like this. Or in this case, like I said, it's just a mixed bag, because more or less it just falls on the Twitch CEO that is just making everything more questionable. If Clancy wasn't known for being a gooner, because like I said, there's this one chick that she had a 70-30 contract with Twitch, and then out of nowhere it got removed, and what her little outburst that she had was calling Clancy a disgusting old creep or something like that. So I just thought that was funny. It's just, like I said, if anything, decisions on Twitch bother you, take it up with the higher ups, not the person that got the opportunity. That's pretty much how I'm going to end this video. Anyways, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like, comment your thoughts about this whole situation. Follow my Twitch. I'll leave that link in the description. And until next time, I'll see you later, everyone. He'll throw it and I'll still be in the animation to basically...